We cannot afford to spend money on PAP as member states, but at the same time disassociate from it and even ignore it. We have to work together to ensure that PAP delivers on the mission and objectives for which it was established. We want to mourn the past together, with yourselves. Of course, we have 2 years of absence. The first year was due to COVID. We could not sit as a parliament between March 2020 and April 2021, no sessions because of COVID. We then went back to business, or attempted to go back to business. May elections. The elections could not take place because of disagreement, very serious disagreements, leading sometimes to acrimony, which the whole world actually condemned, and Africa condemned. And I'm saying we have moved from that. We held elections, very successful elections, very peaceful, supervised by the African Union. So we've passed that phase. Now we are in a phase of delivery. And indeed, we have been judged by the public, not only about the behavior during the elections of 2021, but generally as a parliament. And as we judge PAP, we also want to judge the AU together, because the PAP is just an organ within a family of the AU. And we are on rotation. Yeah, well, that's where. Anyway, let's go back to rotation. First of all, rotation, we are now entrenched in rotation, something that caused serious problems. But now the rotation has become part of us, like any other AU organ. And we are doing very well on that. We went beyond just the rotation in terms of presidency. Upon winning, upon getting into office, this bureau also decided that in the elections of chairpersons of our 13 committees, we will respect rotation and equality among regions. As a result, we ensured that each region of the 5 regions at least occupies the position of chair of a committee. And each region occupies at least vice chair of a committee. And each region occupies rapporteur of a committee. And that we successfully did. And you can show the committee chairpersons. These are regional caucus chairpersons. These are the committee, these are the caucus chairpersons from the 5 regions. You may see your face from your own region, but I don't need to take too much time if I went through everything. These are chairpersons of committees. If you look at these faces, you will see East Africa there, you will see every region is represented there, showing that we want balance. And we have taken this beyond. Let's go off that one like that. We have gone this and said, even in the recruitment of staff, there are vacant positions at the moment, and I want our diplomats to take interest in this matter. We have 22 vacant positions in the Pan-African Parliament, 22 currently that we're advertising, ranging from clerk of the parliament, deputy clerk, finance admin, right, the seniority up to the maybe lowest level. And we are saying those countries that already have staff employed at PAP as much as possible will be the least considered. We want those countries that are not represented, but I want to emphasize without compromising on merit. So if a country does not present someone qualified, unfortunately, they will not have anyone in PAP. So please make sure that you get the best of your best from your country and present them as candidates to PAP. You'll be assured of getting someone within PAP. Time is truly through. So let me move on to having started, where are we going? Having started now, where are we going? Of course, first of all, we want to avoid the bad past in terms of behavior, decorum of PAP, MPs, staff. We have already embarked on a robust exercise of reviewing the rules of PAP. And a part of that, we convened on the 22nd of August a plenary workshop for all the MPs in a fashion like here and say, let us look at our family, our house as PAP. Where do we come from? What is PAP? Who established it? For what purpose? To do what? What are the citizens' expectations? We openly discussed those issues. We brainstormed. We went into focus groups and came back to say, what is it that PAP has not done? What have the citizens of this continent said about PAP? And our best quotation comes from the chairperson of the AU, His Excellency Musa Faki, when he addressed us before the elections in June this year. He said, PAP, the performance of PAP has been below expectation. That's what he said. And then when we compare ourselves with the AU, again, there is someone, the Africa report published on 2nd of August 2022 about the AU itself. He says when Africans are asked about the usefulness of the AU, the judgment is too harsh. Many see it as an ineffective organization which has not solved any of the problems for which it was created. Right. So that's the perception about AU, and the PAP also not performing to expectation. We will now want to perform. So we've come up with the clear deliverables after our reorientation workshop. We have said, let us reinvent ourselves now. We want to reinvigorate ourselves. We want to reorganize ourselves. We want to everything's a re. We basically say we are rebranding ourselves. And that is what we did in the workshop. Now, based on that, we are moving forward. We are not going backwards. And in moving forward, we are restructuring some of the committees so that we refocus. It cannot be business as usual. We have to reposition and renew, reactivate PAP. And we are in that mood already and working in that direction. And we are very happy with the progress. We also invited the clerks of parliaments and the speakers of parliaments on this continent from all your countries. They came to PAP 1st, 2nd September. They also gave their views and opinions as to how we can improve and move on. So lastly, I just said that progress to date and where we are going, we've done that. Now we are back to observing elections. We were in Kenya and Angola, and we expect to do more. Some of the things that we think we'll be doing will be also ensuring that the resources that we have lost as a result of closure, so that we need those resources to come and go back. We are also meeting the PRC, the ambassadors in Addis. Yeah, they are very critical, you know them. They are the ones who approve this and that. There are issues to do with even the MPs, which I can share with you. Because although we think PAP is not doing well, I think people also should look at the MPs, those who come to PAP. What are the operating environment? What the operating environment of the MPs at PAP is not conducive. It is very demotivating in many respects. But we will not give up until we are sure that we have delivered. But as we deliver, we want to look at both the environment under which the MPs operate, the relationships with the AU organs. But I'm happy that my good friend and brother, Professor Maloka, APRM, NEPAD, we are just like triplets now. We can't go for 3 days without sharing something to eat. That is what we want in the AU family, that we work together. Let's evaluate PAP on the basis of what we should be doing. Lastly, Chair, before I conclude, when we evaluate PAP and we say PAP is not performing, are we clear what PAP should do? Are we aware of the functions of PAP and its powers? So that when you say you are not doing well, you are marking us on the correct pages or examination. I'll just quickly go through what PAP functions are in terms of the protocol. PAP facilitates the implementation of policies, objectives, and the programs of the Union and oversee the effectiveness of those policies. And also promote human rights, democracy, and democratic culture. That's why we participate in elections. And also ensure awareness of a number of AU issues. I just say, I don't go into detail. Contribute to harmonization and coordination of laws across the continent. And we draft and examine and adopt the AU budget. The AU budget is supposed to be adopted by PAP, but that has never happened since 2004. And to ambassadors, I should be free to say the AU has been very reluctant to have its budget examined by a parliament, like we do in our own national parliaments. There's no budget in your national parliaments that can be drawn from without being passed by a parliament. But in the AU is, thank you, let me end here and say, it has several powers, but unfortunately, even the commissioners sometimes don't come to report. The ideas commissions on agriculture, everything, they have to come to Parliament and report the activities. So the MPs can also make recommendations on that. But we think going forward, we work with the AU to ensure that even the AU organs, other organs and commissions, they follow and adhere to the protocols that established them. And so PAP could be failing, yes, in certain areas because even the AU itself is not giving the PAP the space for it to perform its duties. But we are here, it's a new team, and I can assure you we are now engaging the AU, and I think the spirit is very good now, very collaborative, and I think we'll see better things in the future. And for ambassadors, we say we have a very critical role as ambassadors that we work together, especially those in Pretoria. I had 1 or 2 ambassadors say, but in my country, I think this Pan-African Parliament, we are not sure if I'm supposed to be involved. I don't think there's a country, especially based in Pretoria, where PAP, in South Africa, where PAP is, a country that can say, you don't have much business with Pan-African Parliament. Let's work together. Thank you very much.